Queen Camilla is now the Queen of England. She is King Charles's wife. She's been his wife since 2005. But for many people, she still is not the queen of their hearts. There is another one, a phantom queen, let's say. Her name was Lady Diana, Princess Diana. Let's take a look back at the legacy of King Charles's first wife. And let's imagine what it would be like if Princess Diana had been queen. One of the most iconic and beloved women of the 20th century was Princess Diana. When she was married on July 29th of 1981, there was so much hope and so much excitement at their wedding. Their wedding was televised to millions, and the commentators were all talking about the future Queen of England. They discussed her background, they discussed their relationship, they talked about the hope for the future. When then Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer married, she was 19 and he was 33 years old. All of the UK was so excited because Diana represented them. She was beautiful. She didn't exude this aristocracy. There was an innocence. She just seemed like one of them. The future of England was in the hands and in the body of Princess Diana. She would one day bear the future King of England and the Spare. And as the commentators and the people said, she was the future Queen of England. What people weren't really discussing was that King Charles still had his heart somewhere else, even though the people believed that Princess Diana was already the queen of their hearts. The actual future Queen of England was in the congregation and in the audience that day and was one of the guests to the wedding of Prince Charles and then Lady Diana Spencer. As she walked down the aisle and the bells rang out and people were applauding and excited about the woman who would be their future queen and the woman who would bear the children that would be the future monarchy. And there was a secret and unfortunate turn that would happen one day that would stop her from having her own coronation. Diana knew about the relationship, and she said, "I knew she was in there, of course. I looked for her." This was according to Andrew Morton's biography. "So walking down the aisle, I spotted Camilla, pale gray, veiled pillbox hat, saw it all. Her son Tom standing on a chair, to this day, you know, vivid memory. What would the monarchy have looked like had she lived? What would Diana have been like as a queen? Would things be different? Would the country be different? Would the world be different?" Diana was born July 1st, 1961, and she married Prince Charles on July 29th, 1981. Their marriage was watched by millions of people around the world. It was indeed a fairy tale romance, but the marriage would not be the idyllic marriage that people imagined. They went through so much struggles, but Diana did understand the assignment and delivered an heir and a spare with Prince William and Prince Harry not long after they were married. Diana and Charles divorced in 1996 after years of rumors of infidelity and tension on both parts. It didn't help that there were rumors consistently of Charles and Camilla having their relationship, including a very scandalous phone call that was named Tampon Gate between Camilla and Charles, whom he had known since the early 1970s. Many said he had wanted to marry her, but she ended up marrying Andrew Parker Bowles prior to that. In 1995, Diana gave this explosive interview with journalist Martin Bashir, in which she spoke candidly about her life as a member of the royal family. She confessed that she suffered from bulimia and self-harm, and she did discuss her marriage and the breakdown of that marriage. There was a very interesting quote from that interview when she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This was a very clear reference to Camilla, who was the woman in the gray suit at her wedding, and Charles, the man who she was walking toward to commit her life to, the man that she was connected to in marriage, the man who would be king one day, the man who would seal her future as being Queen of England, if it had only been different. If Diana had become queen instead of Camilla, it would have been a major change for the British monarchy. Camilla was not popular in the public eye, and her relationship with Charles had been a source of controversy for many years. Diana, on the other hand, was adored by the public and seen as a modern and compassionate figure. She was indeed the queen of their hearts. In an alternate reality, where Diana had become queen, she most likely would have continued the charitable work. She would have continued showing love to the public, and she would have used her position and advocacy for causes she was passionate about. She was passionate about advocating for AIDS patients, and it's possible that she would have continued work in that area. There were rumors of infidelity on both sides, but Diana had mentioned that it was very lonely, and it was only because her husband had been having affairs. Diana was known for her kindness, her empathy, her compassion. If she had remained married to King Charles without any interruption, if they had worked on their relationship, would there be more love? Would there be more kindness in the monarchy as a whole. She would have been a queen who was deeply connected to the people. She would have worked tirelessly to advocate for them. She would have fought for them. She wanted to be more than just an icon. But unfortunately, she did die, and she was killed in a tragic accident in August of 1997. This devastated both of her sons and brought about a topic that even her son Harry to this day is fighting, which is media intrusion. The impact of her death has been so huge on her sons that to this day we see Harry fighting and fighting and fighting the media. Her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, would have been affected by her becoming queen. It's likely they would have continued to carry out charitable work as well. They would have learned how to be compassionate as well. They would have sought out relationships that were favorable to Diana. Diana would have influenced their future wives much more. She would have been an excellent grandmother. Is it difficult for William and Prince Harry to see Queen Camilla be crowned when they knew that this possibly could have been their mother walking down the aisle with her own coronation, officially being named the Queen of England, instead of the woman who was the third person in that relationship, who made the relationship, even with their kids, crowded? In 2005, King Charles and Camilla married. In some ways, their relationship can also be seen as an amazing love story. He ultimately wanted to marry her in the beginning, and eventually in 2005, he did get to marry the love of his life, and now she is the queen. But not everybody sees it that way. In that Martin Bashir interview, Princess Diana says some very profound things. Martin Bashir asks Diana, "Do you think you will be queen?" Diana pauses for a minute to think. She says, "I don't think I'll be queen of this country. I'd like to be the queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts." He says, "What do you mean by that?" And she said, "I don't think many people would want me to be queen, actually. When I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into, because they've decided that I'm a non-starter." Bashir says, "Why do you think they feel that way?" Diana says, "Because I do things differently. I don't go by the rule book. Because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work. I understand that. But someone's got to go out there and love people and show it." And Bashir says, "And you think that's what the queen does?" "Yes, absolutely. I think she gives love and stability. And in an uncertain world, that's vitally important." The interview goes on for several more minutes, where Diana talks about her personal struggles. Princess Diana was an extraordinary woman who had a profound impact on the world. Camilla had to spend years trying to gain favor in the public eye. At one point, she was considered the most hated woman in the world. The press was able to elevate her image and people's concept and opinion of her. To this day, as people watch her be crowned, there is an element of the public that will always see Diana as how she wanted to be, as the queen of their hearts. And Camilla will not be that queen. It's a shame for Camilla, but it is the honest truth. People are still struggling to accept Camilla when so many of us could imagine what could have been. Had the relationship worked? Had they found love together? Had they had enduring love? Had they worked on their problems? Had their sons been able to have a family that was intact? What would have happened? Would the world be better? Would the UK be better? Would the press be different? We will never know, because the queen of our hearts remains that, the queen of our hearts. As we watch Camilla take her position on the throne as the official queen of England, some of us will always remember Diana and not forget what she said in 1995, as we hold fast and we hold a special spot for her inside of our own hearts as the queen.